What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Darian. I love to film motherhood and lifestyle content on this channel. So as mentioned, here is my 25-week pregnancy update. And I just want to start off with my diagnosis. So if you've been following my journey so far, I've been experiencing a lot of dizzy spells that has been very debilitating, and it's just really hard to function. And I've mentioned that I've had a spell every other night since, I want to say, the beginning of August. And that's when I had my 23-week update. I cannot remember. Just refer to that last pregnancy update. So with this situation, I had an appointment with an ear, nose, and throat specialist yesterday. It was a video appointment. And the reason why I selected for a video appointment is, one, because of the COVID. Two, because they said the in-person visits were going to be several weeks out. And I wanted to get some kind of answer about what I'm experiencing sooner rather than later. So that's why I opted for a video appointment. So the doctor called me and he asked me to explain basically when did I notice the onset of my symptoms and how often does it happen, and when it does happen, how long as far as the duration does it occur. So I informed him like I experienced it when I had went to the morning of my last pregnancy update, and I have been experiencing approximately every other night since that day. And it's getting to the point where I have to make sure my head is like level, because if it's not, I start to feel extremely dizzy. And I explained to him it really happens at night when I try to lay down. I have to practically sleep in the upward position to make sure that my head is not fully to the left or to the right or on my back. So I explained to him when I lay down on my left side, if I'm like laying flat on my left, I could feel this rush of pressure. Same thing with my right. And then if I'm looking up too high, like trying to get into a cabinet or something, it's too much. Or if I'm like bending down and let's say I'm trying to like bend down too fast, or for example that I gave with my last pregnancy update, I tried to aim a sample into a cup and I couldn't really see because I felt dizzy and I felt like I was going to fall forward. So that's an example when you bend down. So I explained that to the doctor and he was like, okay, so when it happens, how long does it last? The dizziness lasts. I'm like, it lasts like a minute or two. It goes away because I adjust myself for me not to fall forward or vomit, because I feel like an extreme urge to vomit when I get extremely dizzy. And I feel like I've been spinning in circles 1,000 times in a very short period of time, and it's really like handicapping. So he was like, okay, based off everything you just explained to me, I'm going to give you some exercises that I want you to do every night, a few times a night for the next 2 weeks. And if it doesn't get better, then that's when we're going to run tests. But I'm trying to, he said, and I quote, and I'm trying to avoid tests. One, because you're very pregnant, and two, because it's really not safe to just be out there being in different facilities for no reason. If they can avoid coming in person as to remain safe from this lockdown situation, then that's what they're going to try to do. So with that being said, he explained that I have benign positional vertigo, and benign positional vertigo is exactly what I'm experiencing. You experience a dizzy sensation for about a minute or two, and it's when your head is not level, like I'm looking at you straight on. It's when your head is like not balanced and something in your ear is triggering the dizziness that's not registering to your brain to let you know that you're bending forward, up, side to side. So he said when I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, I should be able to do this because I'm pregnant too. It doesn't matter. So I'm on the edge of the bed, my feet hanging down. He said to turn my head to the right and lay down, and then while I'm laying down with my head to the right, to turn my head all the way to the ceiling, and I have to do that for 40 seconds, and I have to do that on each side. So he said, I'm like, well, that's the very thing that makes me dizzy. He said, unfortunately, you're gonna have to experience this dizziness. You're gonna have to put yourself in that situation. Your body will get used to it, and after 2 weeks of doing it several times a day, it should go away. If it doesn't go away, then it could be something more serious, and that's when I have to go for further testing. So he told me to start those exercises tonight. He he said the more often you do it, the more your body is going to get used to it and the quicker it will go away. So I'm terrified. I think right now, because I'm still trying to do a lot of things during the day, I really don't want to try it tonight. But I'll do it because I'm ready to start feeling better. So I will keep y'all updated as I do these exercises and let you know if it is working and if I am feeling better. So give me about 2 weeks. I'll let y'all know in the meantime how it's going, but give me about 2 weeks and I'll let you know if it's completely gone and what's the next step. So that's that. So 25 weeks. The baby is about 13 and a half inches long. She's about 1.5 pounds heavy. At this point, she is growing her beautiful locks like her mama and is starting to have a little bit of color in her hair. Though some babies develop hair pigmentation later on, she could start developing her hair color right now and the texture as well. So one thing I do want to let y'all know, if you have not had another baby, Bash was born with very, very, very straight, fine hair. If you have not noticed in my videos, he has very, very curly in between fine and thick hair. So his hair texture definitely changed. So believe it or not, I believe she's gonna have curly hair, and I do think her hair is gonna be long because my hair is super long. Bash's hair is pretty lengthy, but I'm not gonna bet on the texture when she's first born because it obviously changes. But at that time, we'll see. So I've been getting notifications from my apps that I use, and it's saying that she's more viable at this point because she's developing something in her lungs that's going to help her move the oxygen in and out of her lungs so that she can breathe air. So that's super, super reassuring that she's more viable at this point. From what I can remember when I was pregnant with Bash, I remember at 28 weeks is when it's like the safest and babies are more likely to like really not need so many medical interventions when they're born. So once I hit 28 weeks, I think I'll feel a lot better. But I'm just hoping that she stays full term like Bash did, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna get induced or not. We haven't crossed that bridge yet. So the symptoms I'm experiencing, I eat chicken at this point. Can eat some other meat, but I'm more so like I can only eat chicken maybe once. It can't be so frequent because if I eat too much meat, I start to get disgusted. So I'm able to eat meat, but now I'm starting to feel like I need to limit myself because I get disgusted with the thought of it. I've been eating a lot of zucchini and squash. I've been eating a lot of vegetables. Like I just mentioned, I've been eating a lot of fruit. I wake up around 3 a.m. every morning and eat some peaches because that's what I have a taste for. I love my grapes. So I've been more so leaning towards the healthier alternatives. I naturally love my fruits and veggies, but like that's all I've been wanting to eat anyway. Like I just had a bowl of peas last night, just a plain bowl of peas. So I'm very much into stuff like that. But if it's something like trending or the new stuff or a new recipe, I'm scared to try new recipes. So I'm just going to stick to what I know. So I have not gotten my iron checked yet. They have not called me to schedule my next appointment. I do believe the next appointment is going to be around 28 weeks, and that's when they do the glucose test, the test to see if you have gestational diabetes. They're going to test my iron levels, and they're going to let me know how that is. So in the meantime, I did let you guys know I switched my prenatal vitamins to the ones that have iron in them, and I've still been tearing up my ice every single day. That big old cup of ice from AM PM is like the hospital ice, so I know I'm going to be eating that ice when I'm in the hospital. But I have not had the urge to eat on that foam that like I mentioned because ice is doing the job. So other than that, the baby is thriving. She's doing well. I'm doing okay. Besides the dizziness, I'm trying to control it. We have an answer. We have a solution. Let's see if it works. And if you guys are interested in seeing how my bump is looking at this point, I'm going to show you that at the end. I do still get very, 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 very itchy, and no matter how much oil or ointment I put on my body, my belly still gets a little dry and it itch like crazy. So I'm trying not to scratch it, but it's very uncomfortable when you don't. So don't judge me. I already got stretch marks anyway from Bash, so at this point it's like, what more damage can be done? So yes, without further ado, let's look at this belly, and we're gonna catch y'all on the next pregnancy update.
I walk through the fire, the sound of a lion. I found